Urban ambience. Traffic lights, cars fuming, rain falling onto faded tarmac. City life droning, waxing and waning like the cycles of the lunar body. Multitudinous faces reflected in every shop window. Commercial jungle, subliminal habitat, that's where it's at. Capitalist landscape punctuated by parks, lakes and homeless humans, vaguely existing, barely recognized amidst the dash of urban haste and expectation. Masks of the Neoliter, cast aside or carelessly forgotten. Another reminder of viruses, absent-mindedness and distanced lives. Make time to be kind. Time is money. Space is displaced, leaving a crowded continuum. Pace is regarded greater than sustainability. Hone your abilities. Earn your tranquility. Peace comes at a price. Take your own advice. Rise again. When today fades into history and tomorrow is opaque, when the auspices of peace give way to confusion and colour turns to grey, when speech fails and thoughts are led astray, the moment abides. Momentarily we live, we walk, we breathe. Breath by breath we face unknown certainties that swirl above and below the precipice of hope and fear. Between these 2 points we exist for a moment, for the moment. Lament for the ones whose windows are broken in time, the compassion of the few, like flowers gracefully adorning the broken with adoration and beautiful hues. Existence is mysterious. Curious minds are never satisfied with explanations. Their duration is enduring. Alluring is the promise of knowledge. Humility is wisdom. Persistence is strength. Don't lose hope. The end is more beautiful than the beginning. Settle down the subtle stream. The supple dream envisions me. Converse squares like saddled memes invent a circle, convexed beams. Arbitrary sudden words, entranced trenches, empty verbs. Complex plans and sullen mass congregate on fallen trash. Emancipating anticipation from its frenzied zone, your mobile phone on loan, roaming data breaches. Teachers, leeches, lecterns, gold in splendorless tears. Tears dissolve fears. New Year's leering, peering from the other end of chaos. Future, neutered by malculture and vulturine creatures of their own desires. Fires consuming liars, guns for hire, rancid underbelly of buyer's paradise. Vice is nice to those who like devices. A smoker's prayer or quitting ain't easy. O precipitous exhalation, thy swirling cloud doth hypnotize me. Thoughts of abstinence are lost as I gaze upon thy elegant wonder. Release me from thy ambiguous embrace. How I regret our first encounter. Hourly does thy remembrance descend upon me, as paper, filter and flame congregate to construct a burnt offering, a possibility, a liability. Woe is me. Inhalation is exaltation, a preparation for subsequent and irresistible immolation. Vacuous repetition leads to maladies diverse, a curse. Worse when self-prescripted, self-inflicted. Lead me not into temptation, nor into trepidations. Extinguish our unconscious vows as I contemplate thy ashen shroud. Courtship. The sun and the moon exchange glances, solar advances reflected upon her silver surface. Spaces vast are traversed in moments forgotten, remembrance a skin to be shed. Movements without trace, playful orbits, full of wonder, royal gestures, majestic, echo in infinite silence. Postures silent, possessing nothing, giving without regret, profound in depth and shallows, circling in dizzy delight. She resists, eclipses like chaperones postponing inevitable oneness. He pursues, in persistence radiant, advances made throughout the night. White and violet waves crescendo, then break into diffusion joyful. The king and queen are crowned night and day in synthetic stasis. The stars fall like confetti. The earth hopeful as a bridesmaid looks on. Silver mountains. The silver mountains, the orange sky. Thoughts fragmented, vision dies. For a time, for a purpose to be clarified. Reborn with freshness and vitality renewed, to have one's sight calibrated. Otherwise blindness of a kind frustrates progress and insight. There is no life without death, no vision without rest. Forest. Glowing darkly, a spark that conquers the quaternary winds. Spring foreboding, spirits summoning the long-awaited sun. I sit, like a rock that weathers the storm, so close or far, the distance between winter and our embrace, a challenge or the decree of forgotten promises from another time and place. She is so gentle, but under her skin is desire, an untapped, consuming flame. Twins are a whispering, eternal, wandering pair, lost in the darkness of space. Let it go. For go it will, and where shall your feet stand when the earth is dust and fire? Time is a teller of things that thought can never grasp, like a recurring dream from which memory has long since departed. Such a beautiful forest, to be the sun and rain that nurtures it. I digress. Just to wander beneath her canopy would be peace, but I'm at war with myself. This too shall unfold. Untold musing shall be clear like the morning sky. Summer is underway, but I am in the underbelly of the earth. But soon I will regenerate and see the path again. Whether through forest or desert, I will learn to walk with joy. For someone I knew it would never be forever, but I didn't care. I ignored my mind and obliged my heart for a change. I have no regrets, but sometimes I have another feeling, perhaps a wish, a childish desire to relive moments cherished. By me, at least. Maybe the feeling is mutual. It was at the time, so why should time change things? It's for the best for both, for each. But I don't think I'll forget, regret, or fret. In short, I'm glad we met. Union. Illuminate me. Light is colour in union. Negate my own understanding. I need to touch the ground. Too much fantasy is exhilarating but exhausting. Acceptance is wisdom. I don't regret, but I can't forget. My memory is so clear for people and conversations, not so much for equations and dates. What am I trying to relate? Consistency is my desire, but instead there are extremes. Enough fluctuation to make mad the sanest individual. Keep a vigil, say a prayer, make a resolution. The solution is seeking me. Give me the humility and honesty to face it. Sunrise, sunset. The gentle breeze flows like a transient spirit, refreshing the dry and weary souls that sit staring into the autumn sky. The sun basks in the shallows of the far horizon. All is red, amber, golden splendour. Time seems to oscillate between past, present, and future. The vastness of space is empty yet full of potential, stillness, tranquility, quietude. The ground, firm, earthy and fertile, is warm and peaceful beneath the ambient haze of the early evening. People congregate in parks forgetting their daily toil. They join the earth in its calm constancy and connectedness. Tomorrow seems an eternity away. The present has the quality of a fond memory or dream, filled with nostalgia, yet without regret or longing. Gratitude. Tomorrow is a book yet to be opened. Perhaps it is unwritten. The stars say otherwise, according to some. Yet space suggests the possibility of creation and the creation of possibilities. Sunset is always followed by sunrise. Lethargy. I'm so tired physically, mentally, emotionally. Can't walk the dog on a quiet country road. My guitar is leant against my cabinet. The strings are without vibration. Sunday I went to work, first time in 6 months. It felt good to be back. But now it's Tuesday and I can't even make calls. This is tiring my soul. Last week I played a small gig. There were pictures on Facebook, now people are messaging me to meet up. But the pictures were just an appearance. In actuality, I was tired, and the morning after I could hardly stay awake until lunchtime. I'm missing people, missing opportunities, missing life. I know others who are worse off, but that doesn't give me energy. If it made me feel better knowing, would that make me wiser, or just a passive sort of sadist? Things will get better, I'm sure. But it's hard to be still when ideas and potential are very much a reality, albeit latent and unsculpted. Energy is a beautiful paradox. We have to give to receive, or receive to give. When you fall into a void, the circle seems broken, but a remnant is within. Strong and vibrant. Don't give up. Rest and be patient. Munsley Beach at sunrise. Walk in solitary as the new dawn rises, golden radiance obscured by fluffy silver clouds, still pierces and fills the blue void with beams like organic lasers. The sea is turquoise, its viscosity like ink, spilt from the veins of an unknown god, rolling in slow motion, breaking and washing up onto the wet sand, cleansing the ground with its salty foam essence. The strong tea in a foam cup, the smoke exhaled up into the crisp morning air, sleep-deprived mind, perception clear, and not adulterated by thought. The pink cliff face reflecting dawn's birth, reflecting the warm virgin light. Tiredness finally arising after the all-night vigil, sleep follows, soundly. Stream of consciousness. The future beholds the past, the present waits forever, its endurance like the furnace of solar radiation. How can we resist what is given from above or below, the same difference? Differentiation breeds many things, a different order, a disorder that cleanses the regions that are seldom sought or experienced. Why shouldn't it be so? Who's to say, to think, or object to such overpowering forces that coalesce into myriad colours, shapes, harmonic tones that create a vision that is beyond sight or human ability to verbalise? This has been too much for many, not enough for the shattered, disheartened and disenfranchised. What will be the end of the matter? The Alpha and Omega, bridging the void, devoid of those forsaken. If I'm not mistaken, tragedy and comedy complement one another like night and day. Sun and rain are part of the play. We play in a simulation, but for us it is too real, too poignant, full of the pains and pangs of mortality and brutality. The conclusion is yet to be revealed. Revelation is apocalypse. Revealing is the process of time, without which space and matter cannot become divine. Divination is beyond the many, but we are the few. Violet Cove. I'm sitting in a violet cove, contemplating love and war. The sun is coasting along its orbit. Crosby, Stills and Nash are singing about a fine house with cats. Neil Young laments helplessness and plains. Kindness is never in vain, my distant friend. Decisions are for the cluttered mind. Kay says the clear mind doesn't choose. It sees and acts according to some law of nature. Nurture me until clarity dawns. Another day isn't certain, but today asks for our tender attention. Should I mention the Iron Curtain? Curtains are to prevent light and curious eyes from entering into dark rooms. We don't learn from past mistakes, even less from former glories. Our story is like a cycle, ever turning, burning with desire, frustration and nostalgia for false systems and ideas. Peer into the void for one moment. Creation is perpetual. Let me gaze into the eyes of a pure soul. Then I can know beauty, truth, and pain. Your labour is not in vain, my sweet child. Behold yourself, spinning amidst the stars in myriad states of mind. Shine like only you know how. I feel your endurance. It's like the moon, ever reflecting light while embracing the darkness. Night is peaceful when you dream of past lives and future bliss. A kiss is a ritual of communion. Blood is shed when words fail. Talk to each other. Listen. Embrace. There is no race to perfection. Haste ruins good intentions. Weaver's Way. I took a walk along the Weaver's Way. The sun was low in the sky. I found an empty field, a hidden yield, obscure to the common gaze. I returned elated with anticipation. The moon was all silver shine. I took a chance to gain a glance, to break through the boundaries of mind. Night had fallen. Alone I ventured out into the moonlit countryside. My eyes were opened, all became silent. My expectations surpassed. The dark country road was all aglow, the faintest of colours amplified. The old derelict building looked pristine, like new bricks and mortar. It vibrated like a holographic simulation of its former glory. The walk lasted for hours. The moonlight reflected and refracted, leaves and trees alive with colour and the motion of energy. I am astonished. As I return to the barn, I pause at the path's end. I close my eyes for a moment and perceive a void of darkness. Suspended in the centre, cascading downwards, is a double helix spiral of magnificent iridescent colours, some of which I don't recognise. It was an initiation, a reward for diligent seeking and curiosity. I doubt its wonder will ever be known again. Repetition. Endless, the reaches of mind and motion, cascading and rising across the expanse of unfilled potentiality. To try, to hesitate, to plunge into the abyss of creation rising, the dawn and eclipse of unfettered idealism. Why is the herald of doubting duplicity? When, the engine of frustration and fretting? Who, the answer, ourselves. Questions seeking fulfillment, yet spiralling downwards into the ocean of wandering puzzlement. Each step is a crossing of a great divide. Unconsciously we march towards a horizon that is never reached or touched by hand or desire. Relentless in our positive resolve, the journey exhausting, then reviving, revealing. Simplicity is a great profundity. Letting go of the reins, a mystery, a chance has to be taken, otherwise we are overtaken by time, envy and bafflement. I know, yet I am unaware. It is necessary to cast away fear, doubt, control, to give oneself to the wave, the tide, to unbridled energy. Anything less is confusion and repetition. Blossom. Barren branches, anxiously reaching like dark arthritic fingers, poised to petition the sun. Their blossoms were birthed in a moment. Nascent fragrance pervades the morning air. Pink and cream, reluctantly, they fall to the ground. Their gentle descent deceive infants that do behold that time is more than mere moments. Morning to the night surrenders, from pure light to ancient shade. One last blossom solitary in its clinging, through the northern wind cascades. Now once again the tree is barren, its glory strewn beneath a cyan sky. Bereavement passes like the winter, spring eternal soon shall bide. Huperzine dream. Sitting inside, outside of mind, beside that my thoughts just can't decide. I can feel the train off track again, collision is a fine alibi. Seeking to fit pieces together, weather conducive to the game. Commit pen to paper, review the madness later, pitter-patter on my window frame. I had a Huperzine dream, not so lucid, not as lucid as described. I burnt my prescription to soften my affliction, the burden I must carry in my mind. Balance so elusive, the seesaw in my head, fluctuates, alternates, the mind a playground of memory and desire. A game is a serious matter, matter and mind at play, pitter-patter on your window pane. Sanctuary. Autumn recedes, the withering leaves, red and crimson turn to amber, gold and brown. Winter is crowned like an old dying king who worships the spring, eternally bereft and abdicating. If love is so blind like the wandering tide, is it any wonder my heart it seldom finds? Feeling high, one with the sky, visions of truth and beauty flood my mind. Failing to find a reason to hide, transparency is a state of mind. Love all around, but not a sound. Melancholy, just a transitory cloud. What's left to say? A beautiful day, but to share it more complete in every way. Never alone, inscribe on a stone, a sanctuary hidden deep within my soul. Intention. How many times can one fall and yet rise again with dignity and purpose uncompromised? How many times may one stand remembering the depths, yet not losing heart or mind? Elation follows the pit, but multiple journeys exhaust vitality and vision. Chances lost, wisdom gained, perspective costly, doubts invade. There is a choice to continue, to hasten the inevitable, to surrender. I wish to God I knew which. Maturity I have not fully attained, progress is evident, but regularly delayed. Love is near, but too far for ecstasy true. Fear is there, it breeds hesitance. Clarity, balance, growth, in procession they soon turn about face. I must preserve my intention and integrity true. Life and love should not be wasted. Shadow. Where there is light and form, shadows exist. Although the shadow depends on this pairing, it never sees light, only form one-sided. Likewise, the light is ignorant of the shadow and the dark side of form. At this moment, I feel like the dark side of myself gazing downwards at my shadow, my other side facing sunwards, but of this I am unaware. Only my shadow convinces me of the sun's presence and warmth. Both sides must exist. They are opposite yet unitary. The dark and light, the sun and shadow too, ultimately. I long to behold the sun again, to be transfigured by its golden violet radiance. Shadows are more introspective and solitary. Creation is the child of union. Union is the conjunction of opposites. The necessity of opposites brings division. Division multiplied is chaos. Or perhaps this logic is what comes from staring at shadows for too long. My dark side observes my shadow. It also perceives the sun indirectly. While facing the sun, there is no apprehension of darkness or of one's shadow. Which experience brings more knowledge? Both sides of experience are necessary for understanding to be whole, unitary, complete. Yet while facing the shadow, there is the opportunity to see light and dark together, if you know how to look, and if you manage to stay in one piece. I've seen enough. I only desire the pure, joyful wisdom of the sun. Leave the shadows and darkness for philosophers to contemplate. I am a simple soul. I hear a voice. How long will you simple ones love simplicity? I answer, too much reading wearies the eyes, and in much wisdom is much sorrow. At the right time I shall see the sun, and the experience I endured in the darkness shall be transmuted into creation and new growth. As the dark knowledge is brought into the light, the union will bring change. If only I could bring the knowledge I gathered in the sun into this dark period. Maybe I have, or perhaps the two sides are completely opposite processes of creation and destruction, of growing and pruning, each contradictory yet complementary. If digression can lead to progression, then I won't regret writing this. The horizon of the unfolding glory. My eyes have seen the glory of the clear horizon. My vertical frame has scaled many mountains. Renewal maintains my trajectory. Tangential thoughts and sensations come and go. They are like clouds traversing the open sky. Pink, gold and silver traces linger like nostalgic monuments, insubstantial but still as real as yesterday's quandaries. Anti-logic guides my subconscious musings. Synchronous steps towards and away from imagined futures pose many a pertinent question. Is a point a necessity or just an implanted supposition, nurtured and sustained by media, neurosis and eternal reckoning? My destination is beyond the blurred line that escapes definition, too far for the gaze of the weary. I'd seer who mediates between lost ones and their promised land. The sand is only a remnant of former glory. Time to behold the unfolding. What precisely are you still holding on to?